spike occurred because of this article. So if you asked me a few months ago, or if you asked me today, Fred, how much money have you spent on online advertising? And if you guessed $20, you'd be off by $20. Okay? This is by strategy. I want our product to be the best it can be, so when people find us, they are blown away. And that's what's happening. So this one article had 25,000 people in the RSS feeds. Okay? This is another article that was written a few weeks afterwards in Russian. By the way, the screenshot, is there anybody here from Algonquin? Okay, so that screenshot is Tyler Copeland. He's a graphic designer. Do you notice how Tyler is on all our marketing? So this is Google Analytics. This is our website, BigBlueButton. And you can see that those two articles, there was a 10-time increase in traffic to our website, right? That was no money on advertising, all the effort made on making a good product. Okay. Tony talked about localization. This is the localization that we have now for BigBlueButton. We did not do this. You can see the emails of everybody in the world who's contributed towards this. And credit to DJP, one of our contributors who handles all the localization. Right? I point out a few of them, Russian, Spanish, Italian, and Chinese. I point that out because I had to show this. This was actually a system that someone set up to even make the translation easier so that it's easier for people to manage the language translation. I point out those languages because that's our traffic sources. So can anybody tell me what this means? Anybody? Anybody who's Google Analytics? What does this graph mean? What does that chart mean? It means that there are more people, there are 5 sites around the world that are using or coming to BigBlueButton more than Canada. Right? So when we say it's a global product, it's not like we wish it's a global product. That's what the Google Analytics are telling us. That's what the language translations do. Okay? This is a heat map of our adoption worldwide. I took this off, this morning. So the density of color show the traffic sources, and you can see there's US, and then you can see in Russia. The Russians are coming, by the way. That one article. So here's what's going to happen. Here's my predictions. As we get articles written online comparing us to other open source projects, as we get localizations in various languages, the countries light up as they discover BigBlueButton, and they are quite overwhelmed. We call our product 0.63. We have a lot of things we want to do for 0.1. So when they see 0.63, they're like, holy crap, this is actually really good. Well, it is because we've been working really hard on making it really good. Okay. What happens if you write a really good open source system? You get companies and projects shifting to use yours. So there's a couple open source learning content management systems out there. One called Moodle, another one called Sakai. Adrian is a developer who wrote the multimedia interface or multimedia application for Sakai. This is what he posted on February 2nd. He says, I'm currently playing with BigBlueButton, which seems promising. He was going to rewrite his system, but it seems crazy when BigBlueButton is around and open source. So what happened? He integrated BigBlueButton with Sakai. So now, if you are using Sakai, you've got the plugin module already. This is the ecosystem starting to grow. This is the page we have on BigBlueButton.org showing blind site networks. IMDT is a Brazilian company. Tiago, one of the contributors to one of the open source components in which we build on. The educational providers, Jeremy Thomerson, you'll hear from in a moment, generic conferencing. And then we're starting to nail down the open source products for the integration. Okay, so the ball is in play. 2 years of really hard effort. So what do? Well, we celebrate for a few minutes, and then you do what any other entrepreneur does. You go for a global win. Okay, so our mission, this is what we're saying today, is that if we work 2 years to get to the point that we're a play, in the tradition of Carlton and sports and, we're not doing this to be second best. I want this project, because if BigBlueButton can become the leading open source web conferencing system for distance education, then putting on my CEO of Blind Site Networks hat, we will do very well. Okay, so first you get adopted, then you win. So what does that mean for us? Keep the focus on integration, stability, and usability. Okay, features come when those things are in place. Focus on your target market, which is whiteboard, record and playback, and voting. And when we get those features in place over the next few months, this project is really going to rock. Okay? And then at some point the momentum takes over. And just like it did with MySQL and others, why would you ever rewrite an open source web conferencing system for distance education when BigBlueButton is that good and that integrated and that well supported? Okay. And I want to put 2 more slides. One of the students here at Carleton in industrial design, we had this crazy idea called Ready to Present. So the idea that a professor could walk in and be able to present online in 5 minutes. And Albert Kwan, which was here tonight, I give him props. This is the commercial products that we're looking to build. So this is what he created here. So he did a complete mock-up of a system, which when I open it up, okay, would basically have like a laptop and everything all ready to go so that the professor could have the voice, speakerphone, webcam, view of the remote students, right? You can buy these today. A company called Sonic Forge sells them. They're called a media site recorder. They sell them for $20,000 a box. Okay, so the vision, this is the entrepreneur hat. We've got the software. If we create the enclosure and all the custom, things ready to go, we can offer this to Carleton and other universities around the world so that they can better use BigBlueButton, right? That's the complementary assets. Okay. So at this point, I want to glance down and see who's online. So I can see that Jeremy and DJP and Chen from China are online. So I'm going to sit over there, and I'm going to one by one bring them up when there's the webcam. And I've already emailed this to them, but I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves to you. All right, so these are guys that are working on BigBlueButton. Tell what they've been doing with BigBlueButton and what their goals are. Okay, so why they were attracted to this open source project and what do they want to benefit from it. Okay, so I'm just going to sit over here. Okay, so DJP, we're going to do you first. Okay, so that's DJP, and now I'm just going to have to find out where he dialed in as. So can you say a few words, DJP? Unknown caller? Just say test.
Test.
Okay, we have our sound unit over there. Hello, can you speak a little softer?
Yep. Is it better now?
That's better. So DJP, just introduce yourself, what you've been doing with BigBlueButton, and what you hope to do with it.
Well, just first of all, I want to present myself. I'm Guillaume Jean-Philippe, aka DJP. That sounds better. I'm from France, just near Paris. And if you'll excuse my clothes, it's 33 p.m. in here. I'm 25 years old, and I am BigBlueButton team since 8 months, something like that. I first came because I'm mainly a web developer using day-to-day technology like Skype to communicate with my team or customer, and I look for a good conferencing system, which means to me easy to use for the end user, easy to maintain, using different kind of good technology, and an open source product. And I went through different Google search, and I found other open source software such as OpenMeeting, DimDim, etc., etc. And each of these products didn't attract me because of different reasons, mainly the three ones I said before. But at last but not least, I finally found BigBlueButton using Google Code, and I was desperate, in fact, at that time. And BigBlueButton meets all my requirements: easy to use, a small by that time community, which maintained with good documentation, with good UI draft, and updated the software continually, and good technology, and that was open source. So my first contribution was a must-have feature to me